Zee Jaipur Literature Festival on stage to take us through the ceremony. Thank you. Sonjoy.
Uh, Good evening and welcome to the second Kanhaiyalal Sethia Award that we have been collectively presenting. I remember Mr. Sethia and Siddharth came to us 2 years ago to say, would we be happy to work together to create an award in the memory of Kanhaiyalal Sethia. And of course, instantly we said yes, because we do believe that there is a wonderful place for poetry, not just at the festival, but across India. Mahakavi Kanhaiyalal Sethia was a renowned Rajasthani and Hindi poet. The internationally acclaimed writer authored a total of 42 books in Hindi, Urdu, and Rajasthani. He was a freedom fighter, social worker, reformer, philanthropist, and environmentalist. He received the Padma Shri Award in 2004 and the Rajasthan Ratna in 2012. He was selected as a living legend of the 20th century by the United States of America Library of Congress in Washington. He was also awarded the Sahitya Academy Award for his work, Lilatsma, and the Gyanpith Murti Devi Award in 1986. The jury for this year's Kanhaiyalal Sethia Award for Poetry consists of Sudeep Sen, who I'd like to invite up on stage, and Shukrita Paul Kumar and Namita Gokhale. Namita is not able to join us, but Sudeep has agreed to come. We also have Babji, His Highness the Maharaja of Jaipur, who's going to give away the prize, Poet Laureate Anne Wallman, who's going to say a few words as well, and many of you must have heard her from the keynote address. And I'm now first going to ask Mr. Sethia to say a few words in memory of his grandfather, in his father, whose name we are presenting this award. Sethia sir.
मेरी जन्मभूमि राजस्थान को नमन, मेरी मातृभाषा मायड़ भाषा राजस्थानी को नमन। मैं जयपुर हिंदी साहित्य के महाकुंभ, जयपुर लिटरेचर फेस्टिवल के निर्देशक कर्ता धर्ता श्री संजय जी रॉय का हृदय से कृतज्ञ हूँ कि जिन्होंने महाकवि कन्हैयालाल सेठिया लिटरेरी अवार्ड शुरू करने के लिए सहमति जताई। श्री रॉय ऊर्जा के भंडार हैं और उनकी कार्यशैली देख के मैं बहुत प्रभावित हुआ हूँ। मैं महाराजा जोधपुर आदरणीय श्री गज सिंह जी साहब का बहुत आभारी हूँ, जिन्हें पिताजी से असीम स्नेह था, उनके साहित्य की बहुत रुचि थी और मेरे निवेदन पर, रॉय साहब के निवेदन पर आज यहाँ पधारे, उसके लिए मैं उनका हृदय से आभारी हूँ। संस्था के जूरी मेंबर जिन्होंने आदरणीय महापात्रा साहब को चुनने में सहयोग किया, उनका हृदय से आभारी हूँ। महाकवि सेठिया की रचनाएं शाश्वत रस की रचनाएं हैं। उनमें दर्शन और भारतीय संस्कृति का ज़बरदस्त लेखन है और वो लोक सिद्ध कवि थे। वो जीवन काल में ही उनकी रचनाएं करोड़ों राजस्थानियों मध्य प्रदेश, हरियाणा के लोगों के हृदय में आज भी वास करती है। वो शरीर आज नहीं है, पर करोड़ों लोगों के हृदय में आज भी वो विराजमान है। तो मैं आज अत्यंत प्रसन्न हूँ और उनको नमन करता हूँ। इस साहित्य पुरस्कार का मुख्य उद्देश्य है कि सेठिया जी की रचनाएं, कविताएं, उनका सृजन विश्व साहित्य स्तर पर पहुँचे और लोग पढ़ें और जानें कि हिंदुस्तान में ऐसा लिखने वाला भी हुआ है। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ आप सबको प्रणाम, मंच को प्रणाम।
Thank you, Sethia ji. Can I please ask the members of the jury, Shuddeep and Shukriti, to say a few words? The jury unanimously agreed to give this award, and I'd like to them just to say a few considerations on how this was deliberated.
So good evening. It's a real honor and a treat to felicitate someone who has been a doyen and a pioneer of Indian poetry in English. We have another very fine poet in the audience, Keki Daruwala, as well, who's sitting here. But one of the most remarkable things about Jayant Mahapautra's poetry is his modesty, but his fierce intelligence that marks his poetry. He lives and has grown up in this town of Cuttack in Orissa, and he is a physicist by training. And there's a lot of nature and science very subtly that permeates into his poetry. But one of the things is he's quietly been writing incredibly good poetry from, I wouldn't say the margins, because actually he's in the center of world poetry, because he's one of the few Indian poets who's published and won prizes from places like the New Yorker, the Times Literary Supplement, the prize that is awarded from the Poetry Magazine, World Literature Today. I mean, if you look at his publication list, it's just remarkable. And it is not easy to break into these spaces. And yet, he has also been very humble about his standing and stature. He has been also a bilingual poet, so he writes also in Oriya, which is very unusual in that sense. Of course, in India we have a tradition of bilingual poets such as Kolatkar and Dilip Chitre and so on. And the other last thing is he's been a great supporter of the generations that have come after that. He founded one of the most incredible literary magazines called Chandrabhag, named after the dried up river in Orissa, which continued in its first run, and it again started in its second run. And hopefully we are trying to urge him, and maybe Sean Joy can help with that. I'm putting him in the spot. We can revive his magazine, Chandrabhag, again with the help of JLF and other friends of ours. So it's a real treat, a real honor, Jayantuda, that you've been selected. It was unanimous. There were 3 judges. It was very transparently done. I want to also announce very openly who the other shortlisted writers were. One of them is sitting here, Keki Daruwala, who was in close contention. Geet Chaturvedi, a Hindi poet who lives in Bihar. Joy Goswami, who lives in Kolkata, writes in Bengali. And one more, I think. One more poet, which was part of your. And the judges were Sukrita Paul Kumar, Namita Gokhale, and I had the pleasure of co-judging it. So it's a real treat and honor, Jayantuda, that you're the man of the moment.
Thank you, Shuddeep.
I think Sudeep has introduced him very well, but I'll just like to add a couple of things to this. I think, Jayanta ji, you have been the source of inspiration for a huge number of people who've been writing poetry. And one point that I want to make is what we really feel very grateful to you about is the genius with which you handle 2 languages simultaneously, wherein poetry flows with a gush at times, sometimes in a steady, quiet, reflective mood, sometimes in anger, sometimes in sadness, like all poetry has to be, going along with times, emotions, and there are layers and layers and layers of meanings that one can derive out of all his works that he has done. Chandrabhaga, the magazine that he used to bring out. And I remember how in my younger days, I used to lap up every issue that he would bring up, throw up to the public. And I don't know, but I think somehow we have to capture those rhythms of poetry all over again and add to that dynamism in a big way. And that magazine, Jayantaji, has to be revived. It has to be revived. And publishers, please wake up. Publishers, please wake up. You need to also bring out collected works of Jayanta Mahapatra. I think here is a person who needs to be not recognized. It's not just, he's recognized. That's not the point. But what he has done, what he has been doing, has to pass on in a very big way, and more things need to happen in the coming generation. So what I suggest is that flow, that the river that I'm talking about, river of poetry, obviously is not going to stop, but the richness, that legacy needs to be carried forward. So we need people to really join in and support the venture of poetry by saying hooray for today.
Thank you. Thank you. May I please ask the erstwhile Maharaja of Jaipur, a great reformer, an educationist, and a wonderful leader who continues to lead his people, fondly known as Babji Gat Singh Ji.
Anne Walden, Mr. Sujay, Mr. Roy, Sethia Saab, Ms. Kumar, Mr. Sen, and of course, Mr. Mahapatra. Today, I'm so glad to be standing here. I consider it an honor to be here in memory of Kanhaiyalal ji Sethia, the Mahakavi of India. He is a man of many talents, many facets, and I'm so glad. I can congratulate Mr. Roy and the committee for having this award instituted in his name, because this is such a magnificent function, this literary function, that we are now in our 10th year, and you can see the number of crowds that come. It's an international festival. But I think what was lacking was the recognition of regional languages. And today we have 2 regional languages, Rajasthani, of which Mr. Sethia was a proponent in his time. And he started the quest for the recognition of the Rajasthani language way back in 1948 with the then president. And still it hasn't happened. I would hope that we all get together and press upon the government to have Rajasthani language. It's such a major language in poetry, in the folk culture, in the oral tradition, that this Rajasthani language needs recognition at the national level. And Kanhaiyalal ji Sethia was a proponent of that. I'm glad somebody is clapping in the audience, because we need all the support we can get. Kanhaiyalal ji was not only a poet, a writer, he was also a reformer. He fought for the rights of the schedule of the caste system. He fought for the environment. He was an elected member of the first legislature in Rajasthan. And I think if we look in terms of his poems and his writing, in Rajasthani language, he definitely deserves a Nobel Prize. And I think the intention of today's gathering is to internationalize his work. His work, I gather, is already reflected in the US Library of Parliament, where it has been translated, it has been kept there. There are also recordings in his own voice of his poems in the Parliament Library. And in this way, I hope more and more people will come to know of his works and his writings. And I'm very glad, I don't know much about the recipient of our award today, but I'm very glad, the privilege to be sitting next to him. He's again the exponent of a regional language, Oriya, and we are celebrating that. I hope that he will also propagate the strength of Indian languages, which needs to be understood and publicized all over the country and translated all over the world. Thank you with these few words.
Thank you, Babji. Before we present the award, I'm absolutely delighted to have with us Poet Laureate Anne Wallman, who's had an association with Mahapatra ji, and I'm going to ask her to say a few words and then we'll present the award.
Thank you so much, and this august company, and so good that you are here. It is particularly delightful to be presenting this award to Jayanta Mahapatra, a great poet of lyric power, sincerity, humility, erudition, and wonderful that he could come for this event here to Jaipur. I think it just raises the whole occasion of this festival, that we are honoring such an important poet. I met Jayanta in the 1980s, in 1985 in Bhopal, at a very interesting conference. It was poetry reading and recitals, poets from all over the country. It was right after the terrible disaster with the Union Carbide Company in Bhopal, but the spirit of poetry was so important to have there at that occasion and to actually witness and see what had gone on. And it confirmed the whole notion of building bridges across the country, and also with myself as an American poet, and I was representing some of the work of Allen Ginsberg as well. And then I was able to visit Jayanta's home in Orissa, a beautiful, beautiful place, which he tells me has not changed that much. And then later he came to my school in Boulder, Colorado, the Naropa University, which I had helped found the program, the poetics program with Ginsberg. So he visited in Colorado. So this is a very auspicious meeting again, and I feel great warmth and delight in my heart to see him after these years. I was asked to read briefly a little poem just in the spirit of exchange and healing. It's a little small performative oral piece called Said So Song, and it's about the healing of language and how the world says, you cannot say this, you cannot do this, you are forbidden, but yes, you go ahead and speak. So I will read this in honor of our great poet who's here today for all of you. They said, must not be said. They said it must not be said. Way leading to a future tense. Make it to me, 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 to heal me up again. Make it to you, 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 to heal it up again. Said so, said not. Said so, said not. This old world in trouble now. There is this old world getting in trouble now. Tell sky I'm coming. Tell sky I'm coming. Make it to me, 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 to heal us all up again. And may poetry continue to build these wonderful bridges and exchanges. And it's with deep gratitude that I see my old friend here today. So thank you for participating in this great honor.
May I now ask Babji and Anne Wallman to present the award to Jayant Mahapatra. Mahapatra ji, agar aap aage aa jaiyega. That will come with you, don't worry. This? Yes, it will come with you. stand in the middle. आप आइए.
ये सोल और पूरा अलग है.
Babji, the shawl. महापात्रा जी, अगर आप कुछ इस अवसर पे कुछ कहेंगे, you can sit and say it, or you can, महापात्रा जी, you can sit and say it, or you can go to the podium. You'll have to, yeah, one more step down.
To all of you on the dais, my vinamra namaskar. To all of you present here, my vinamra namaskar. When one is chosen for an award at such a festival, such as the Jaipur Literature Festival, the day isn't the same anymore. It changes. Life is something else. When one is chosen for the award, and the award is in the name of a great poet like Mahakavi, Kanhaiyalal, Sethia, then life becomes something else. When one is chosen for the award by the sponsors of this festival and by such a jury as we have witnessed over here, and has been given by my long-term friend and the distinguished American poet Anne Waldman and His Highness the Maharaja of Jaipur, then my life becomes something else. So this is a moment I will remember for as many days I have before me. And I would like to say that this is a moment of legend for me, a moment of legend I shall remember. I should like to thank from the bottom of my heart each one here, both of the sponsors of the festival and for those who are here to wish me, to give me their good wishes. I should say thank you very much. I am deeply touched by the honor you have given me, and I will remember this for all time. Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. Thank you, Mahapatra ji. Great honor for us to have had you at the festival. Thank you, Babji. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Shukrita. Mahapatra ji is going to be reading now, right now as part of the poetry hour, and we look forward to having you all there at the Samvad. Thank you all. Thank you, Sethia Sahab. Thank you, Siddharth, wherever you are.
Thank you.
Pleasure to have you all together. Thank you.
Always keep blessing.
Thank you.
Okay, we are going to share a secret. We've just been told by Sanjay that the festival would be very happy to put together a book of poems by Jayanta Mahapatra. They will publish it. Thank you very much, Sanjay. Thank you very much.
So I'll have to now come and spend some time.
I was enthusiastic about it, partly because there are very few opportunities around the world for publishers and agents and people involved in the business of books to get together and talk about issues of common interest. And this, I think, is a wonderful forum for doing that.
A book is a living thing, and the more traces of yourself you find in it, the more alive it is.
For us, JBM really is special. Publishers, agents, authors could come together to really focus on the issue of translation